Why is your virtual Boulder the only thing giving you a sense of control in 2026? You are about to find out. You've just finished a 40-hour work week. You're tired, your back hurts, and the last thing you want to do is more work. So, what do? You sit down, fire up your console, and spend the next 6 hours doing exactly that. Work. You're picking digital herbs in the highlands. You're clearing out the 47th bandit camp on a map that looks like it's been hit with a confetti cannon of icons. Or you're mining space rocks in a vacuum while a progress bar slowly ticks upward. On paper, it's insane. If your boss asked you to drive across a desert to deliver a letter for $5, you'd quit. But when a glowing NPC in a wasteland asks you to do it, you're already halfway there, sprinting across the dunes. Why do we spend hundreds of hours performing chores in video games that we would absolutely hate doing in real life? From harvesting pelts to the endless cycle of go here, kill that, come back, we are all, in a very literal sense, modern-day versions of Sisyphus. But here is the twist. This digital labor isn't a waste of time. It is a profound philosophical rebellion against the boredom and chaos of the real world. This is the psychology of the grind, and mapping the existential philosophy of Albert Camus onto our favorite open worlds. We're going to find out why your virtual Boulder is the only thing giving you a sense of control in 2026. Let's talk about the infinite loop. Think about a game like Starfield or Elden Ring. In Starfield, you might spend hours scanning every single rock on a desolate moon just to sell the data for a handful of credits. In Elden Ring, you might throw yourself against the same boss 50 times, or spend hours farming albinorics at a specific ledge just to see a number go from 120 to 121. This is the gameplay loop, the heartbeat of the experience. In the early days of gaming, loops were short. Jump, avoid the fire, reach the flag. But as games have evolved into massive 100-hour open worlds, the loop has become a life cycle. The repetition isn't a bug, it's the entire point. We find a strange, meditative peace in the never-ending cycle of the grind. Why? Because the loop offers something reality almost never does. A guaranteed return on investment. In the real world, you can work hard and still get laid off. You can be a good person and still get stuck in traffic. But in the loop, if you collect 10 pelts, you get the upgrade. Every single time. The repetition is the sanctuary. This brings us to Albert Camus and the Myth of Sisyphus. For those who missed that day in philosophy class, Sisyphus was a Greek king punished by the gods. His task was to roll a massive boulder up a hill, only for it to roll back down the moment he reached the top. He had to do this for all eternity. To the Greeks, this was the ultimate torture, futility. Camus looked at this myth and used it to describe the human condition. He argued that we live in an absurd world, a world where humans have an innate drive to find meaning, but the universe refuses to provide any. The universe is cold, silent, and indifferent. We are all Sisyphus, rolling our boulders of career, relationships, and survival up the hill, only to watch them roll back down as we age or fail. Now, look at a modern open-world map. It is a vast, empty landscape that, without the player, has no purpose. It is a digital void. Game developers know we can't handle the void, so they fill it with artificial meaning. Every experience point, every loot drop, every level up notification is a way of satisfying our inherent need for a structured reality. We aren't just playing a game, we are building a world where the struggle actually matters. This leads to the Outpost effect. In real life, progress is often invisible. You might be getting 1% better at your job every month, but you can't see it. In a Ubisoft-style open world, however, you see a red icon on the map representing an enemy outpost. You spend 20 minutes clearing it out, and suddenly, ping, the icon turns green. A cinematic plays, the fog of war clears, and the world is literally different because you were there. This provides a tangible sense of accomplishment that reality rarely mimics. In 2026, our careers are often abstract. We move data, we attend meetings, we provide services. We rarely get to see a finished product. But when you clear a camp in a game, you have exerted your will over the universe. You have taken a piece of the absurd and forced it into a box. You have transformed the void into a trophy room. This is why we don't mind the chore of the fetch quest. The quest isn't about the letter we're delivering, it's about the fact that the universe acknowledged our effort. There is an illusion of productivity here that is incredibly addictive. We are working, but but we are working in a system that loves us back. Every herb you pick in a game like The Witcher 3 is a micro-victory. You are gathering resources for a future battle, preparing for a challenge that has a clear solution. Reality is messy. Gaming is deterministic. 10 herbs equals 1 health potion. There are no supply chain issues, no inflation on the price of Nirnroot, and no bureaucratic delays. This cause and effect relationship is the ultimate psychological balm for a chaotic life. But let's go deeper. Is this just escapism? Is it just a way to hide from the fact that our real-world boulders are heavy? Camus would argue no. He famously concluded his essay with a line that has become the mantra for the modern gamer. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Camus believed that once Sisyphus accepts the futility of his task, he becomes the master of his own fate. By continuing to roll the rock, he is rebelling against the gods. He is saying, "You intended this to be a punishment, but I have made it my life's work. I own this rock." When we engage in a repetitive grind in a game like Monster Hunter, where we hunt the same beast 20 times just to get one specific scale, we are performing an act of defiance. We are choosing to master a system. We aren't being forced to pick those digital flowers by a vengeful god. We are choosing to do it to prove that we can. Completing a repetitive task is an act of taking ownership over an indifferent digital universe. We look at the 200-hour play clock, and we don't see wasted time. We see a record of our persistence. Think about the platinum trophy hunters. These are people who will spend dozens of hours looking for hidden collectibles or performing obscure tasks just to get a digital badge. From the outside, it looks like madness, but from the inside, it's a triumph. It's the player saying to the developer, "I have seen every corner of your world. I have conquered every loop. I have exhausted your void." This is where the work versus play disruption happens. We need to stop calling it just the game when it feels like a second job. Because for many of us, that second job is the only one where we feel truly competent. In the real world, you might be a cog in a machine, but in the digital world, you are the machine. The labor you perform is an exercise in agency. The grind is not a distraction from life. It is a necessary training ground for finding structure and triumph within a chaotic world. When you return to the real world after a long session of digital labor, you don't return empty-handed. You return with a refreshed perspective on persistence. You've reminded yourself that you are capable of setting a goal, following a process, and reaching a conclusion. The digital boulder gives us a sense of self. It tells us that even if the world is vast and often meaningless, we have the power to create our own meaning through action. We are not victims of the loop. We are the masters of the loop. So, the next time someone asks you why you're spending your Saturday night fetching pelts or mining asteroids, tell them you're practicing your existential rebellion. Tell them that in a world where nothing is certain, there is a profound beauty in a progress bar that actually fills up. We are all Sisyphus. We all have our hills and our rocks. But in the world of gaming, we found a way to make the rock our own. We found a way to turn the struggle into a masterpiece. And as the credits roll on another 100-hour epic, we realize that Camus was right. We don't need the boulder to stay at the top of the hill. We just need to enjoy the climb. The grind is the point. The loop is the reward. And the boulder is exactly where it needs to be. Keep rolling, everyone. I'll see you at the next outpost.